Oh my God, they're really good. Yeah, that's all. They're all holding up with Alrighty man, what's going on out there? I tell you. We're just having a little fun here today, Dr. Lucas. We're here live on Facebook, guys, as I'm trying to get my music to stop there at the same time there. We're here for Christy Martin's event today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here for her boxing and mayhem and Myrtle. Right, she's got a really big card tonight, about 12 fights. She has going on 12 professional boxing matches, men, women, and they're different sizes, too. What I always kind of wonder, Doctor, and by the way, introduce my guest here, Dr. John Lucas here. He's the top physician in this region here for fight sports, and he's also a pediatric cardiologist by trade. Just want to kind of chat just with you a little bit as we kind of call this our pre-show. But I'm wondering about when I thought about the heavyweights, I saw some of the guys, right? Some of them were chiseled, right? And then I saw some that maybe not so chiseled. I'm thinking about health. Is that can we assume that all the extra the fat doesn't matter as long as they're training and their heart and everything is in decent shape?
Unfortunately, the short answer to that is no.
Right.
There's definitely a disadvantage to having a high body mass index or a high body weight, particularly if you have a high body fat content with that. But having said that, clearly somebody who's a heavyweight boxer, even some of the guys that we've seen on prior shows that are 300 pounds plus, just like guys that play offensive and defensive line in the NFL, they may be quote-unquote obese by typical standards, but they're in substantially better cardiovascular shape than the average person who's overweight and also inactive. So there's a huge advantage in any body weight to being cardiovascularly fit and making conscious efforts to work out, especially cardio kind of stuff. As you well know, there's hardly any better cardio, if any better cardio, than doing rounds on a bag, mitt, sparring, stuff like that, because it's your whole body. And you can't take any time off, especially when you're fighting, because the person you're fighting isn't going to take that time off.
So. Exactly. I just always wonder about that, though, when I see people that, they have soft tissue, and it just doesn't look like they're in that great of shape. And, they go out there, and I just saw last night with not Badahari, but the other guy fighting in Glory, the world champion. And he's going to just go ahead and hit me right now. I can't call his name right off. But he's a current Glory heavyweight champion, and he was fighting this other guy that was kind of like, kind of fat, kind of out of shape, but the guy was in it, and he was pretty good, and he was pretty talented. And in fact, somebody sent me just this morning this video of a guy, must have been 300 pounds. No, I mean literally 300 to 500 pounds, and he was working the bag and working out and stuff like that, and he was doing it pretty aggressively. I'm wondering though, is that dangerous?
If you go from having no physical activity at all, and especially if you're heavy, and in particular if you're heavy and you have some pre-existing heart disease as a result of that, hypertension or kidney disease, something like that, if you just literally hop up off the couch and start doing super high intensity exercise with no ramp up to that, that's not a great idea. But that's not really a good idea for anybody. That's why, I'm 47. If I haven't been working out consistently, if I just went to my doctor and like, you know what, I'm going to start hanging out with Johnny Davis and we're going to do cardio kickboxing or something like that. He's going to say, well, let's do some evaluation. We're going to do an EKG, take a listen to you, kind of make sure that you're in some sort of health before you start doing that. But these guys, especially the pros or the advanced amateurs, have been training for 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years. Yeah, their risk for issues when they're working out is not high because they've been working out the entire time. So they're sort of used to that. It's big shifts in your activity level without any
going from boom to boom.
Yeah, going from couch. People talk about doing like couch to 5K, going from couch to marathon, with no steps in between, just getting up one day and trying to run 26 miles. Not a good idea. But working towards that is a fabulous idea. Have a plan.
Have a plan. Put it in place. I was kind of wondering about, a couple of things. My mind has been going. We were at the weigh-ins and everything last night. We saw a couple of guys weighing in. Some of them look really chiseled. There's also sometimes I see right here in the middle of people's chest. It's a weird kind of like a breastplate. It's like a knot. It's right there. And a lot of guys, when they do this, I see that. Is that some type of protrusion or something that the rib is kind of, is it dangerous?
I mean, short answer, no. It depends. You have to point out which guys you're talking about. Sometimes there's a little thing at the very bottom of your sternum called the xiphoid that looks sort of like a traditional arrowhead, and like a flint arrowhead, that oftentimes will wing out just a little bit. So when you flex or if you hold your chest out, you see like it pointing out. That's just an anatomic thing, and that doesn't present any danger to you at all. And chest wall stuff, be it pectus excavatum where the chest kind of curves in, or pectus carnitatum where it points out, that in and of itself isn't dangerous. It's just, especially the excavatum where it curves in, if your chest is supposed to be this big and your sternum curves in, it makes the area in there smaller, so it can cause some degree of restrictive lung disease, which isn't necessarily dangerous, but may limit your aerobic exercise capacity.
I just kind of wonder, but these are the things that kind of pop in my brain, and I see these people and I kind of wonder. Let's talk a little bit about the fight, at least the promoter of the fight first, Christy Martin. Tell me a little bit about how you met her and your relationship with her.
So I met her and Lisa when they did their first event in South Carolina, which was up in Rock Hill. It was the very beginning of the pandemic, so what was that, 2 years ago now? And then, I know who Christy Martin is because I'm old enough to have heard
sorry about that.
The Sports Illustrated cover and the whole coal miner's daughter, and then, the tragedy she went through with her husband and the domestic violence situation and whatnot. So when I got the call that she was coming and she, got in touch with her through the promotion about working for her as a physician, I was really excited to get a chance to meet her and help her out, because that's something that South Carolina really could use, is another promotion that's doing things the right way and putting on good quality shows and trying to spotlight some of the really good talent we have in boxing in particular here.
Do you think her name value gives her a little bit of an advantage?
I think absolutely, and especially since she's had the
Netflix special.
The Netflix special. I was trying to think which training server was. Yeah, the Netflix special. And now this is her fourth event that she's put on in South Carolina. And the first three were fantastic, and they keep, just like your shows, every time there's just a little step up. People are real excited about fighting for her, and because she's a fighter, same with you. She's treating the fighters right. The guys are happy to be on the card. The girls are happy to be on the card. Everybody leaves and felt like they got a fair shake. They're getting paid decently. And she's doing good matches. So the cards are great live. They're streaming. Their streams seem like they're running really well. Just getting a lot of eyeballs on it.
She really seems like she cares. Do you think she cares more because she was a fighter? Now, I think I know the answer.
I don't think there's any argument to that. I think that anytime somebody who did something, especially in, I hate to call fight sports a fringe sport, but compared to football and whatnot, they're a little bit smaller. I think anytime somebody competes, especially at a high level professional like Christy did or like you did, it then decides to go into promotion, the experience they have and the love they have for the sport shines through in a way that someone just wakes up in the morning and is like, you know what, I could make a couple $1,000s this weekend by putting on an event. They're not going to have that same kind of passion for it, and it shows. It shows in the way they treat the fighters. It shows in the way they take on the show. And if you watch Christy and Lisa during the show, they're just as excited about watching.
Yeah. Right. No doubt about that. Did you actually see that Netflix special?
I have, yeah.
What did you take away from that?
I mean, domestic violence is, despite the attention that it gets, it's an under-recognized problem that you would like to think that by 2021 we would have some sort of a handle on.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's getting any better at all, and it's just, it's scary as the father of a 14-year-old daughter to know that that's out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that there's so little protection for people because restraining order is just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt. People are crazy. They're really crazy.
Right. People are crazy.
The climate of fight sports right now, after the COVID, now that you know always dark every
let's
time.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. You know,
let's not get too far ahead of our.
Can we kind of say it's kind of gone though? Kind of, sort of.
You're not going to hear me say that.
No, I'm not going to ever hear you say that.
Right. Especially not right now. There's areas in the country, especially in the Northeast and a little bit out west, where numbers are going up, but. Right here in good old South Carolina, our numbers are looking great currently, so hopefully we can keep that momentum going.
Right. Are more people getting vaccinated, you think, or you think?
Slowly, you know, there's people who are interested in getting vaccinated. I mean, you got your booster recently.
I'm everything. I'm everything.
Yeah, so
I'm vaccinated twice and plus boosted, and I'm waiting on the next booster whenever they tell me.
Hopefully there won't have to be a next booster. We'll see about that. But same here because of my job. You know, I don't want to expose the kids that I think.
Sure. So we good, right? We good.
So yeah, right now I haven't had my antibody levels tested. There's really no reason to, but right now I should be teeming with antibodies.
Right.
And like I said, the numbers are heading in the right direction. The number of people we have in the hospital, and I've worked for the biggest hospital system in South Carolina. And the number of people that are in the hospital now with COVID is, it's probably a tenth of what it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So hopefully, but we were here before, and then things.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
You think the winter months cause a little bit more potential for that? Just because of cold and flu.
Yeah, right. Because it's a cold flu season. Right. There's certainly potential. I mean, there's going to be definitely more people who get admitted with respiratory viruses, whether it happens to be coronavirus or whether we have a bad flu season or whatnot. I don't know.
Right. Fight sports, though, in this area, right? They seem to be coming back up. We were having a conversation a little bit earlier. Promoters are coming on board and they're having seem like more fights, and whether it's MMA, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. Is that good? Is that a good thing for the sport overall? I mean, are they doing them? Hopefully they're doing them, quote unquote, the right way.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a real exciting time. Oddly, for South Carolina, the coronavirus pandemic actually, I think, probably helped fight sports because, the commission in North Carolina fell apart. It was just a complete disaster.
Sure.
And a couple of other nearby states have not, or were not, or currently are not promoting. Right. So we've had some people move into the area and put shows on, or more importantly, fighters from those states looking to come on to South Carolina shows. So we've had a lot of really good MMA events. I was just in Charleston last week for a fantastic event that, Conflict is back. So they put on a show that was MMA and Muay Thai kickboxing. And it's just great seeing some of those athletes get a chance.
I always have to say something about that. I always got to say something about that. And that's fine. I think Jared Williams and everything, he's a promoter, he's legit. And everything, Jeff Grady and his team was there and everything supporting. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, he had half the fights for Jeff
Grady. Here's where I'm going. Here's where I'm going as a Muay Thai kickboxing promoter. And all I've always said that when we start seeing the tide change, and we've seen this now for a few years, that we would you would start seeing more kickboxing fights on MMA shows and all. And what does that say about either MMA or maybe here, or kickboxing, Muay Thai here, or maybe for my hard work, whatever. I don't know, right?
Since you're sitting here, I'll give you entirely 100% of the credit.
Okay, well, since I'm sitting here, right? Okay, great.
No, but seriously, I think that's seeing the kickboxing showing up more and more on MMA cards is because people are finally starting to realize that Muay Thai is exciting.
Yes.
Muay Thai is becoming more and more popular amongst fighters as their striking base.
Right.
And I think it's the popularity of Muay Thai going up and up, because the popularity of MMA, at least on the local and regional level, is at least as high, if not higher, I think, than it was pre-pandemic.
Okay.
So I think that Muay Thai is kind of wakeboarding behind and heading in the right direction.
Okay, good.
Fantastic.
It really is. It really is. I think Muay Thai kickboxing obviously is a great sport, right? And stuff like that. You know, we've worked together for 5, 6, 7, no, more like 8 years. More like 8 years. I noticed that your hair is getting a little gray. Mine's not. I don't know why. Maybe some stuff in the store. I don't know what it is, but you're looking good. I mean, you still. Tell us a little bit about your martial arts background. You know, you still work out and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. So I trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, it's funny that, you know, you're boxing, kickboxing, and I grapple, but love watching other people.
Right. Punching each other.
Yeah.
You love, what you really trying to say, he loves watching people punching and kicking each other in the face.
I really enjoyed sparring. Sparring was fantastic, but I mean, I'm 47. Not a good athlete, and I'm not very fast, never was, and I'm getting slower and slower, getting hit in the head by an 18-year-old, 20-year-old.
Right.
It's not a great idea, and that's why grappling is so fantastic, because you can do that with less risk. Although, having said that, I've had now 3 surgeries in the past 2 years.
I was getting ready to go there. I was getting ready to say, it seems like there's a lot of twisting and twerking. For me, I would rather strike you than really you wrap me up into a ball. To be honest with you, because something's gonna crack, break, or pull, or whatever. Right? Do you feel like you have more problems with that? You know, as you get older.
You know, for sure. I mean, I have more problems with everything as I get older. You know, you never know what's gonna. We wake up and just doing things like lifting weights and things like that.
Right.
Can't go as hard, don't recover as fast. That's really a problem with grappling, because you go and most of the people who are at the school are significantly younger, and they're competitive, so they're going hard and they've got great cardio, and it's getting harder and harder to recover from that. You used to train 6 or 7 sessions a week, and I can absolutely not do that now. I could, but then I'd be out for a month and a half with injuries. So it's got to start being smarter, and it's a matter of underneath all this gray hair, getting the brain to realize that you're 47 going on 50. You're not going to be a world champion. It's time to focus on longevity.
That's just real talk. Okay, guys, we're getting ready here tonight for Miss Christy Martin's pro boxing event. It's called Mayhem in Myrtle. 12 professional fights, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing live streaming here on our AK Promotions website. If you want to see those live fights, you want to go to our website, akpromotions.org. Go to the calendar, you'll see boxing live stream. You can purchase it right there as pay-per-view. They have some great commentary. By the way, they were doing some commentary last night with Derek Weems and the 2 guys he has. They're all professional fighters and professional writer. I think it's Mr. Burgess. He was on HBO and all of that stuff at one time. I mean, they really are doing a great job with the commentary. So if you want to learn more about boxing, there's some really good insight. You know, check out the pay-per-view stream on tonight at akpromotions.org. You can click on that and it will take you to the link where you can purchase that fight right now for only $24.99. It's going to go up a little bit later. Right now, I want to thank our dear Dr. John Lucas for coming on and chatting with me today, guys, and we'll see you again a little bit tonight. All right, thanks so much, guys. All right, always a pleasure. All right, guys, that's all we have for you right this moment here. We'll be right back in just a little bit speaking to some other guests. Talk to you soon. Johnny Davis Live. I'm checking out. Bye-bye. Give me 1 second. It was still on this one. Thanks, Doc. All right, thank you.